Ryan Gosling. Remember Sebastian Wilder, the jazz pianist from La La Land with dreams of opening his own club and having fun with his fiancée? Yep, that's him. And Noah Calhoun, the heartthrob from The Notebook, who stole our hearts in 2004? Still him. What about the slick, fast-talking trader who spots the financial crisis in The Big Short? Yep, you guessed it, that's him too. Ryan Gosling is regarded by many as one of the best actors in history and might be the only A-lister who can make even silence feel relatable. The interesting thing is that this down-to-earth persona isn't just by chance. It's taken years of deliberate practice, as there's just something about him that feels normal. But what if that's exactly why we love him so much? Well, that is why we will be breaking down how Gosling became Hollywood's most relatable star and why his most iconic roles feel like a reflection of ourselves. Before he was Sebastian in La La Land or the mysterious driver in Drive, Ryan Gosling was a child star? Yep, like many Canadian actors, Gosling got his start in the industry by joining the ranks of the Mickey Mouse Club.
Well, actually, me and Jester were wondering how you guys got the name for your band, Escape.
Alongside names like Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake. Look at him go. Who knew the brooding actor we know today had this Disney Channel groove hidden in him? But Ryan didn't come from the glitz and glamour you might expect. He was born in Ontario and raised in a working-class family. We often see him talk in interviews and speeches about how his mother homeschooled him.
She found my weak spot. She knew it. And soon after that, she took me out of school and homeschooled me for a year.
After he struggled in elementary school due to ADHD. He has described himself as an outsider, a kid who didn't fit in, just like the rest of us. And that's next level relatability. Have you ever watched a movie and thought, wow, that feels like my life up there? That is just how Ryan Gosling's life feels like. He has a gift for playing characters that feel eerily familiar. Take Blue Valentine, for example. This is not your typical romantic movie where everything ends with a kiss in the rain. No, Ryan's performance alongside Michelle Williams shows us the messy, imperfect side of love, the kind we've all experienced. And truly, in the movie, Ryan's body language, his understated delivery, it all feels natural. They argue, they struggle, they fall in and out of love, just like real couples do.
The director, he wrote it as a reaction to the films that he was watching. He felt like these movies were like made in, the characters were made in the image of gods. He wanted to make a movie made in the image of man, and where your flaws are what make you special. And
Ryan himself has said that they wanted to make the relationship feel as real as possible, and he did this by living in the same house as Michelle Williams during filming, improvising scenes, and even recreating everyday moments, like cooking dinner and taking out the trash. It's not polished or scripted. It's raw and relatable. In interviews, Ryan said that much of the dialogue in Blue Valentine was improvised, which is why it feels so authentic. Dean is flawed. He's a man trying but failing to keep the pieces of his marriage together. And as we watch him, we can't help but think, I've been there. I've had those fights. I've felt that heartache. Him showing us our own struggles on screen is what makes Ryan's performance so relatable. In fact, the emotions were so intense that it even caused some controversy. Ryan and Michelle's intimate scenes were so raw and natural that the film's MPAA rating was nearly in jeopardy. The infamous sex scene felt so genuine that people wondered if it was staged at all. But that's the point. He doesn't just play characters, he makes them believable. And let's not forget The Notebook. Ryan transformed from that guy with a beard to the face of romantic memes everywhere.
if you're a bird, I'm a bird.
Admit it, you've cried at least once to, if you're a bird, I'm a bird. But seriously, Gosling's character, Noah, isn't some unattainable Prince Charming. He's a flawed, passionate, and real guy. He's someone we can imagine existing in our own lives. It's easy to think of Ryan Gosling as the intense, emotional actor. But don't forget, he's also effortlessly funny, and it's that humor combined with his charm that makes him even more relatable. Sometimes we see him playing a hopeless romantic. Other times, a bumbling detective, or a guy who falls in love with a blow-up doll. No matter the character, Ryan has a unique way of making us laugh while still connecting to real human experiences. In Crazy, Stupid Love, Ryan's character Jacob Palmer is the smoothest guy in the room. Perfect abs, perfect suits, and a perfect game. But the second he starts to fall for Emma Stone's character, you see the cracks in his cool exterior, his awkwardness, the way he fumbles over his words. It's hilarious because it's so relatable. Even the most put-together guy in the room turns into a mess when he falls in love. We've all been there. This moment was a perfectly timed comedy that also makes him seem just like us. Behind all the charm, he's just as clumsy as the rest of us. Then, there's The Nice Guys, where Gosling takes his comedy to a whole new level. He plays a private investigator, but unlike the suave detectives we're used to, his character is an absolute mess. He's constantly getting hurt, screaming, getting drunk, or failing at basic tasks. He's like a walking disaster, and it's laugh out loud funny because we've all felt like that. Like we're trying so hard but just can't get it together. I believe that's Ryan's superpower. Man makes the absurdity of life funny, but also deeply relatable. But it's not just physical comedy. In Lars and The Real Girl, Ryan finds humor in something so absurd. A man falling in love with a blow-up doll. It sounds ridiculous, but Ryan plays it with such sincerity that you can't help but care about him.
She's Brazilian. Well, half Brazilian, half Danish, that's right.
He turns what could have been a straight-up joke into a touching story about loneliness, longing, and human connection. And yet, you're still laughing because it's so bizarre, but also kind of relatable. And finally, we have La La Land. It's a musical, sure, but even in the middle of a song, Gosling manages to make you laugh with his deadpan expressions or his playful banter, like in the scene where he sarcastically plays I Ran on the piano at the club. His timing is perfect, and the entire scene is funny without trying too hard. Honestly, Ryan's humor feels so special because it feels so effortless. He's never trying too hard to be funny and relatable. Instead, he just is. He could be awkward, sarcastic, or just plainly clumsy, and that would mean that his humor comes from real, relatable moments that we've all experienced.
Is this the wrong Ryan Gosling? Is there another Ryan Gosling?
I'm Brian Rosling.
Oh, that's
it's a
what
tie.
I'll
I'll
just
just
take
take
the
the
mix.
In an industry often criticized for its fakeness, Ryan Gosling stands out by being, well, real. He's known for being kind to fans, approachable and humble on set. He's the guy who, during breaks, isn't off in a private trailer, but hanging out with the crew, joking around, or playing music. Emma Stone, who's worked with Ryan in multiple films, once said that Gosling's laid-back nature makes everyone around him feel comfortable. He's so genuinely funny and such a good, I keep calling him teammate, but he is, she said at the time. He's a good teammate. He's really fun to act with and hang out with. He's the best, and that's exactly what makes him relatable. He doesn't act like a superstar. He's just a guy doing his job and being as fun and real as it can get. One time, on the set of La La Land, he spent a week learning to play piano for one scene. He was there with John putting in the work. Most would have just gone with using a double. Ryan simply figured, why not? It's just one more thing he could learn. Humble, hardworking, and funny? Yeah, we can relate to that. And let's not forget the internet's love affair with Ryan Gosling. From the Hey Girl memes to the endless parodies, Ryan has been adopted by meme culture, and they have turned him into a pop icon. What makes it even better?
It's my site. I didn't feel like I was getting enough.
What's most authentic to you?
Hey girls, sorry my shirt fell off.
Ryan is totally in on the joke. He's admitted that he finds the memes hilarious and doesn't take them too seriously. So we can say he has this self-awareness that makes him not just a star, but a relatable figure. He doesn't even shy away from the joke. He embraces it, and in doing so, we feel like we're in on it with him. So, why is Ryan Gosling just too relatable? Maybe it's because he's never tried to be perfect. He's flawed, funny, emotional, and kind. All things we see in ourselves. From his roles as a jazz player, to a quiet driver, to just being himself in interviews. Ryan Gosling shows that you don't have to be larger than life to be loved. You just need to be real. If you love this one, drop a like and check out our other videos. Subscribe.